Perfect. Good deal. All right. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining the She is Hope LA She is series development program. Tonight, we have a very special guest that I met through the pandemic, and we have a lot of mutual friends in common, so it's an honor to have you. Debra Eckerling. She is the award-winning author of Your Goal Guide, a roadmap for setting, planning, and achieving your goals, and creator of the DEB method. The DEB method is her system for goal setting simplified. DEB stands for Determine Your Mission, Explore Your Options, Brainstorm Your Path. The goals strategist, corporate consultant, workshop leader. She offers personal and professional planning and event strategy and team building for executives, entrepreneurs, consultants, and companies. Debra is the host of Goal Chat, Twitter Chat, Goal Chat Live, and the Deb Show podcast. You can find her on LinkedIn. She's lovely. She is amazing. Thank you so much for doing this for us tonight. And I'll let you take it away.
Well, thank you for having me. I always love to spread my love of goal setting productivity. So, and your organization is amazing. So I am thrilled to be here. And if you're watching live, yay you, thank you. And if you're watching the replay, yay you, thank you, because you're choosing yourself and your goals and you're looking toward the future. And there's really no better gift to give yourself than the gift of living the life that you so richly deserve. So today we're going to talk about goal setting simplified and go through the DEB method, as Tisha was talking about before. And if you are here live, I want to welcome you and ask you to please say hi in the chat, where you're from, why you're here, any challenges you have when it comes to goal setting productivity, because I talk really fast and I'm sure we will have time for questions. The other reason why I always encourage chat is because you can't reach your goals on your own. You need your people, you need your resources, you need to continually beef up that tribe of yours. And because there's you, there's your community, and then there's a community of your community. So the more people you know, the more people you know. I know it sounds very, very logic-y, but please connect with me, but also please connect with each other, because we're in here to make everybody's lives better. That is the whole purpose. So I am going to go to my screen share, which of course I can't. Oh, there it is. Okay. And we're gonna talk goals and the DEB method and setting yourself up for success. And we're gonna have so much fun. So first things first, to get what you want, you need to know what you want. And that, I think, is the fundamental difference between people who achieve the life they want and people who have achievements that maybe aren't so much in alignment with who they are and what they want to create for themselves. And it's really all about Goaltopia. I made up this word for my book because no word existed that meant achieving your goals and living the life you want. And that's really what we're all striving for: a better, wonderful, fulfilled, rich life. So what is your goal? Why are you here? Feel free to put that in the chat. And it really boils down to 4 basic buckets. Do you want to start or elevate your career? Do you want to share your expertise, start or build a successful business, or achieve work-life balance? Usually it's at least one of these, in some cases 2, 3, and it could be even 4. But the whole purpose is, it starts with, what is that thing? What is the goal for you when you close your eyes and you think of the life you want? What does that look like? And which of these buckets, or combo platter, okay, food, would it take for you to get to that Goaltopia? So a little bit about me, a little more about me. I'm a goal strategist, workshop leader, corporate consultant, speaker, and motivator. And I've been leading goal groups for years. I actually started out doing events at Barnes & Noble back when I lived in Chicago. And I've lived in LA for more than 20 years, so you can do as much math as you want. But with this group I started, it was all about, what did you accomplish? What are your goals for next time, and how can we support you? And that's really the whole of how goal community works, is what are you doing, and In what ways do you need to tap into your community to figure out or get support on those next steps? I am author of the award-winning Your Goal Guide, and I host this Twitter chat and a live show. Tisha's been on it, and she's amazing, which is also the Deb Show podcast. One's just audio. And my background is project management and communications, because those really are the keys to getting where you want to go. Knowing what that is, making a plan, but also being able to articulate to yourself and also to others who you are, what you do, and how you help, because it is all about that mutual elevation. I am a fan of dancing for exercise, cooking for productivity, and talking for fun. I hope at least the third one is apparent. The other two may become so as we go through the DEB method. So, what is DEB? DEB stands for Determine Your Mission, Explore Your Options, Brainstorm Your Path. And it's really all about creating that foundation for your goals to build upon so you can create and live in your own Goaltopia. And determine your mission, it starts with visualization. Said I grew up in the Chicago suburbs. I am all Californian, and this makes me feel so Californian when I say, close your eyes, visualize, think about the life you want. And perhaps your life hasn't been great. That's okay. You have made choices to move forward, to improve your life, and we are all so happy to support you. So don't think about what is, think about what's possible. And what is that visualization? Are you the employee of the month for another company? Are you building a business? Do you have a successful side hustle? Are you the go-to expert in something? Or is that visualization you just being happy with your family, in peace, living a nice, fulfilling life? Whatever that visualization is, that's great, but there's another step to it. Not only do you want to see it in your head, which is a great place to start, write it down, create some sort of visual representation, which could be something as simple as taking a picture of your family and like putting it in front of a new home, or going on vacation together, or maybe you have this product that you want to create. Take a screenshot of like the Amazon store and then make a mock-up of your product and put it there. Whatever it is, employee of the month, make a little badge with your name on it, and gold stars everywhere. Whatever it is that you are striving for, don't just think about it. Make some sort of creative visualization so you can keep your eye on the prize. It is so powerful to see what you're working towards, and helps you motivate and move forward. So it starts with visualization, and then the next step is to write your current bio. So think about it, not just what your life is now, but pick out the things that you're working towards. So let's say you're looking for a new job. Your bio should be reflective of what you're working towards. Let's say you are becoming the known expert in something. Doesn't matter what it is. If it's something that you love, that you're passionate about, you are the go-to expert on, that is the bio to be writing. Or if you've upped your skill set and you are looking for new work, highlight your accomplishments, but also highlight those skills. So you want to start by writing your current bio. It could be a paragraph, it could be two, it could be a one-liner, whatever it is, to really just like embody where you are now, your starting point. And then the next step is to write your future bio. What is the future? That's up to you too. So what do you want to say at the end of this year, by your next birthday, in 2 years, 5 years? Even though so much has changed over the last 2.5, 3 years with the pandemic, the future is still possible. One of my favorite examples of this is, the people who want to be speakers to sold out crowds. Well, during the pandemic, there were no actual crowds, but the future of speaking to filled Zoom rooms, filled workshops. So you may have to tweak it a little bit based on, your life now, but it's still your future you. If you want to be the go-to expert in aloe vera plants, I do not know where that came from, but your love, your passion is plants, then what are you doing with that? What are you known for with that? If you are creating a nonprofit while building your business, who does that sound a little bit familiar here? Where is your business going to be in 2 to 5 years? Where's your nonprofit going to be at? What is that future? What does that look like? And the trick with that future bio is you want to write it in the third person and in the present tense. So imagine someone is writing an article about you, a profile, book jacket cover. What is that in the present tense saying about you? And that's what you're working towards. So start with thinking about it and then taking inventory of where you are now and where you are going. And now, this is like one of my favorite parts. Okay, they're all my favorite, but the mission statement. The mission statement combines who you are with what makes you unique, what you want, but most importantly, how you help. So, for example, my mission is to help as many people as possible figure out what they want and how to get it through my book, my workshop, speaking, etc., so they can live a better, a happier life, and in turn help other people. So, mission statement, long, it's okay. That's what the motto is for. And the motto is that short, snappy embodiment of your big mission. So my motto is goal setting simplified. So everything I create, whether I'm speaking or writing an article, teaching, consulting, it's all with that simplified in mind, because changing your life is challenging enough. The instructions need to be easy. So I made them really easy. So all this groundwork, this determining your mission, is what's going to set up the next phases, because when you figure out what you want, then you can make a plan to turn it into reality. So before I move on to the E, explore your options, are there any questions? And is there anybody who's here live wants to share their motto? Tisha, what is your motto?
I
or
was
your
just
mission
gonna
or
say,
goal?
I'll jump in. My motto is to live each day to its fullest, and it truly is what I strive for. I love life. I'm thankful for everything that's been happening and where we're going with all this. And I love the idea because I like the current bio, but I never thought about writing my future bio. So I love this.
Thank you. You would not believe how many people love that and have never thought of it. And I'm like, what? Come on. Because the future you, and it can change, but it starts with what you're striving for. So living life to the fullest, but you're also helping others live life to the fullest. So that motto works for both purposes as well. So thank you for sharing. Anybody else want to chime in?
Yeah, I will.
Great.
My motto is dance like you have nothing to lose.
I
And
love it.
that comes from, okay, I'll tell you where this comes from. Back in 1994, before the big earthquake, there was Olympics. I think it was the Winter Olympics. And there were 5 people up for the gold, actually 4. And the first 3 were really famous. I don't even remember their names, but they were so nervous and pacing back and forth and waiting for their turn and wiping their brow and everything. So the first 3 go on the ice and they do their thing, and a couple made mistakes, whatever. Well, number 4 was in 4th place. So for her, she had nothing to lose. She went out there and did a performance that won her the gold. And ever since then, it's I've been thinking, dance like you have nothing to lose. Don't worry about the end. Don't worry about, just dance. Do your thing. Do your thing like you've got nothing to lose. And that's why when I started taking Zumba and I decided that I wanted to be an instructor, and then life went on, I took a risk by quitting my job or getting myself fired, really. But thank God for the pandemic, because I had a balance. I had unemployment coming in, this, that, and the other thing. So, and now I'm dancing, baby.
Amazing. And now you know why I got so excited when you said Zumba and dancing when we were
Yeah.
talking pre this, because I think there's nothing more invigorating than a 2-minute dance break. You know,
Oh
if you
yeah.
have more time, take longer, but to get that energy up so you have the gumption to do whatever it is you need to do.
You know, people ask me, where do I get my energy? I mean, I'm 69 years old. I just turned
No,
69,
good for you. You look
and
awesome.
it's out of my passion. I mean, I'm passionate about this, and I think the way I talk about it, about what I'm doing, and yeah, I do have goals. I want to grow this business, and I would like to have a partner in life, and I do the visualizations, and sometimes I write it down, but I think I'll do that more often. And I think I'll go into Microsoft Word and draw some pictures and make it seem real, because every morning I do thank God for what I have now, but I also thank him for what he's going to do in the future.
A life of gratitude will never steer you wrong. That's fantastic. And I will put in the chat, if you go to thedebmethod.com/DSH, it's visual scavenger hunt or virtual visual scavenger hunt. It will walk you through the just fun exercise in creating sort of a vision board. And it doesn't need to be a big deal vision board. It could just be one thing. Like if you want to be a New York Times bestseller, you take a copy of the New York Times bestseller list and you cross off number 1 and you put your title and your name up there. So it can be something like that, very simple, or it can be a bunch of pictures together that you can use either in a Word or graphics program, or go into Canva, which is what I like, and just noodle around, put in the search the things you want and create it. But if you go to that link I'll put in the chat later, you can just go through my 3 steps, 3, 5, it might be 5, just to really nail down the visualization and brainstorm to create something fun. Okay, I think we should explore options now. Okay, Deb, let's explore options. So it starts by knowing your mission, but knowing all these things that you want to do. And Eckerling just said it, you know, she wants to grow her business, but what does that mean? Well, that's what exploring your options is for, because you've got this idea of your life, but how is it going to manifest itself? So and this is really my favorite go-to exercise for figuring anything out, which I call directed journaling. And this is how it works. You go on your calendar, set 3, 4, 5, 15-minute appointments with yourself. And then during that time, just brain dump, free write the answer to a question or series of questions that are very specific. What does my future look like? What do I do next? Where I want to build my business, but what does that mean? Should I start a blog or a podcast or do a live show? Or do I need a TikTok? What are the different things I could do there? Oh, maybe I should write a book. Maybe I should do a course. Whatever it is, whatever your stream of consciousness tells you, get it out of your head and onto the page. And the secret is, don't look at any of your babblings until you've done it 3, 4, 5 times. Don't worry about repeating yourself. Just go with your thoughts. Then after you figure, okay, my head is empty, everything's out there, what is next? Go through and read it. I recommend read it once straight through and then read it again to take notes. And what you want to do is look for the common themes. Something that you thought you wanted, maybe you only mentioned twice, whereas something you thought was just like a passing thought, you mentioned like 10 times. Well, go with the thing that you mentioned 10 times because you're obviously excited and passionate about it. And it's begging you to give it attention. So give it attention. So go through your journal, make a list, and then maybe from your list make a list, maybe 10 things, and then go through and identify perhaps 3 options. So maybe one is, want to build my business, One is maybe I need to do like either an Etsy store or Redbubble where I do product to go with it. Maybe another is I want to start a podcast, because that way I can interview others who are similar but different, but that way I bring them to my audience and they bring me to theirs. And perhaps a third is to write a book. I want to get out there. I want to get all the stuff out of my head and onto the page. So look at those different options, and then you're going to explore them. If let's say you're unhappy with your job, or your situation has changed and you need a job, maybe the options you're identifying is what's next for you. What can I do with my current skill set? What do I want to do? And what do I need to learn to do that? Or are there opportunities for me to move up where I'm working, or do I need to explore different places? So it can be related to your mental, physical, emotional health as well. I want to live a more balanced life. What does that mean? And you look, oh, well, I guess I need a less stressful job. That's one of the options is, okay, what does that mean? I need more balance in my life. Okay, I have to figure out what that is. So you would do directed journaling on that. So whatever is the big thing that you need to course correct or to flourish for the business that's already there or the job you already have, brainstorm it out and identify maybe 3-4 things that make sense. And then you want to research the possibilities. So what I was saying before is we can all, connect on LinkedIn, stay in touch, be part of each other's communities if we're not already. And that way, when you're looking at things, okay, I want to write a book, but who do I know who does that? You go to your LinkedIn network and you can even put, author, books, whatever, see who pops up. You want to look at your connections, but also your connectors. Those people who, if they don't have the answer, they say, I don't know, but I know someone who does. I have a feeling Tisha is one of those people. I definitely am one of those people. So
I am.
when you've identified those options, see who does the thing you need to learn more about, or reach out to your connectors and ask them if they have insight for you. And then after you've done all this research, make a choice. And it's not a forever choice, but look at what makes sense for you to do first, and then second, and then third. But really want to focus on, okay, I need to get, by the end of the year, what's going to make me happy will be either getting a new job or getting a promotion where I work. Okay, those are the different possibilities. Maybe you've done the research and you're like, okay, there are things out there for me, but first I want to see if there are opportunities where I work currently. So that's your prioritization. So you want to get everything out of your head and take a good look at it. And I don't know, you can't tell, but so I've got the pad and paper and the pen always, because I'm always writing things down. When you try and figure things out in your head, it's not that easy. I mean, you cannot rearrange like blocks of items in your brain, right? Well, maybe some people can. Most people, it's much easier to map things out by writing them down. So you do your journaling, you make your list, you do your research, and then identify what comes first, and then second and third. So any questions about this before we move on to the B in Deb? Okay, let's move on to the B in Deb, which is brainstorm your path. And I've already touched on it a little bit, because when you get things out of your head and onto the page, it's more tangible. I know it's writing things down, but it's more tangible than trying to figure it out in your head. So we start with brainstorming all of your goals. And I'm talking professional goals, personal goals. You want the long term, the short term. You want some easy goals so you get wins off the bat. And then you want some reach goals, because you want to constantly be pursuing that better life. And so put everything down and then divide and conquer. So what you want to do is categorize. So put all, let's say definitely you want a new job. That is the big goal, big professional goal. And what does that mean? Can you start looking off the bat, or do you need some certifications? What sort of requirements? So maybe even that first part of that professional goal to get a new job is to take that inventory and see what skills you need to, and get those skills. And then it's write the resume, write the query letters, research, talk to your communities. All these different things are going to be on your big brainstorm page, but you want them in order. So you want to put everything you think you need to do to accomplish these goals on the page, so you can build them up. The same thing with personal goals. Let's say you decide what you really need is a project, and you want to build a tree house in your backyard. Okay, it's a personal goal, but it's a project-based personal goal. So what are the steps you need to do to make it happen? So you want to write all that down and categorize the different things. Now, the other part of this, and I'll get to mapping them out in a second, is those lifestyle personal goals. And that might just be to lead a healthier life. Great. What does that mean? Does it mean to eat healthier, cook more, exercise more, find a new sport, find a new hobby? What are the different things that you need to do to get that lifestyle personal goal? And that's more a matter of scheduling time to work towards it every week. So you want to live a healthier lifestyle. Every Sunday at 10 a.m., you're going to map out what you are going to do for the week for that healthier life. So maybe it's planning the grocery shopping, planning the menu, what days you're going to work out, where you're going to work out. So that sort of thing. Maybe a lifestyle personal goal is to save money. Make your list. What are the different things that you can do to save money? What are some swaps? What are things you can, rather than the Starbucks every day, it's the getting the Starbucks and making it home. I mean, write down all the money saving things you can do, and then start making that a habit by putting it in your calendar beginning of the week. Okay, what are going to be my money save wins this week? So whatever these lifestyle personal goals are, that's more of the regular commitment for regular ongoing commitments. So once a week, you are giving attention to those, improving those bit of lifestyle goals, working towards them. For your professional and your project goals, you want to map it out more like the action items lead to the benchmarks make up the short-term goals, and the short-term goals make up the long-term goals. So let's say your long-term goal is to work your way up the corporate ladder, some corporate ladder. One of the short-term goals is going to be to get that job where you're at a place where you can work your way up the ladder. In order to get that job, what are the different benchmarks? The first one is to get all your communications materials together. So you want to redo your resume and write your query letters. And then there's the other kind of research. What do you want to do? Where are you working? And who do you know who maybe has insight to help you there? Again, go back to your connections and your connectors. And then the third part is sending out a certain number of resumes a week, doing your job search, finding the time in your calendar to do it. So it starts with, I think I said it backwards. It starts with researching and figuring out where you want to go. That's one benchmark. Then it's getting your materials together so you're ready to send them out. Then sending them out, getting the interviews, going in, hicking, getting the job, and then getting the job. Short-term goal accomplished. So again, the little action items or tasks make up the benchmarks, and then the benchmarks make up the short-term goals. Boom.
Can I interject?
Go ahead.
Sending out resumes
Mm-hmm.
is a gigantic waste of time. because the best way to get a new job is networking. And I belong to 2 or 3 networking groups that help people with, I was in the career industry as well. And I can tell you right now, sending out resumes, answering job boards and things like that, it's like throwing spaghetti against the wall and hoping something will stick. And I don't mean to be rude or anything like that. It's just a fact.
I will, I'm not even going to disagree with you, but keep in mind, I also said, go out and see who your connections are, who knows people, where you can send your resume, where you can get in line. So I agree, nothing should ever be done willy-nilly, but
Yeah.
do the research, see who you know. You're still going to need, every now and then I was going to say, when was I'm trying to remember the last time I actually sent out my resume, but it was a couple years ago, and it was a writing gig and they wanted to see what I'd done. Okay, here's my resume. I think I just had to add 1 or 2 things because I do freelance writing as well. Here's my resume, here's my cover letter, boom. So even if you have the connections, you still need some paperwork to go along with it when you send it. So,
Oh, no, I completely agree. You got to have it ready in case somebody wants it. Absolutely. But just to like say, I want to work for Amazon and, oh, there's a job opening and just send it out. But you're correct saying, I know somebody, like, okay, let's just say I wanted to do Zumba class or drumming class at One Generation. It's a senior center, very big senior center here. No way did they pay attention to me. No way. I sent a video, the whole deal, right? I know somebody that does a class there, and she talked to them and got me in. So connection is
absolutely.
I think
No,
it also depends on the type of job you're looking for. Sorry to interrupt. I mean,
Oh,
it
no,
depends. There's a
please.
whole lot of the things because I've had to put my resume for a number of things, like even for the nonprofit, when I was sending in my stuff to the state to get the 501c3, they needed my resume. So it is good to have that as a backup. And it's like one of the tools, I guess, you need, you know what I mean, to move forward. So I like what you're saying about all the goals and things. And it's funny because a couple of our other speakers, the financial planners, would say, make a date with yourself once a week. Give yourself that time to plan and organize. And I think that that's a really good point and what you're saying. So thank you.
Oh, well,
yeah,
you're welcome. And
having a resume is huge. I mean, I went for a job at a gym and she said, do you have a resume? And I didn't have it with me and I didn't get it. Of course not.
the other thing that I alluded to before, but didn't flat out say was, it doesn't matter what you're doing. If you don't have a profile on LinkedIn, you're missing out, because it doesn't matter. First of all, it's good because when you make connections with people, when you meet people at events, at Zumba, wherever, even something like this, you're going to reach out and say, great meeting you, let's connect. Because again, the more people you know, the more people you know. But your LinkedIn needs to have a few really important elements, like a picture that looks like you, and also experience that's reflective of the kind of work that you're looking for. So you want to, and I can send you the link to this if you want as well, Tisha. I do setting LinkedIn goals. So just basic things you can do, because you want to make, you only get one chance to make that first impression. You want to make it good, but you also want to make it reflective of your goals, what you're working towards.
Yeah, I would love that. Thank you.
Okay. So we've got all the different, and you're going to laugh, Tisha, because I'm just going to repeat something you just said. You want to set yourself up for success. First things first, post your goals everywhere. Where's a place that you look at all the time? I was talking to someone, a yoga teacher client, said, if you want, put it like right on your yoga mat, because when you're doing downward dog, look at your goals, right? For chef, put it on your kitchen. For regular people. You know, put it put it on your desk, or take a picture and put it on your phone as your wallpaper. So somewhere where you're going to look at it, because, you know, out of sight, out of mind, you want to keep what you're working towards in your frame of mind. Other thing, embrace to-do lists. I view to-do lists very much the same way I view brainstorming your path. The beginning of every week, and it could be Friday, it could be over the weekend, it could be Sunday night, write down your monster to-do list and then divide it into projects. So for me, it's, you know, my book work, my workshops, my clients, my personal stuff. So I've got like 4 different categories of to-do lists. And then what I'll do is I will type it into a calendar appointment on Sunday. So I have it. This was more important when, you know, I left the house, but that way my to-do list was wherever I was. And then the next thing to do is go into your calendar and schedule the time to do the things on your list. And some of them may be appointments with other people. Some may just be appointments with yourself. But the trick with this, and why I say schedule and or track your time, is look at your life and the open spaces and fill the open spaces. Don't try and do too much, because if you overwhelm yourself, that is the opposite of setting yourself up for success. So start with maybe it's an hour a week, and maybe it's in 2 half-hour appointments. That's your goal time. That's when you are going to work on consistently the things you need to do to create that life that you want. And maybe it's 2 half-hour appointments, but you're not quite sure which half hours it's going to be. That's why I say track your time. So commit to the time, and then move the appointments to when you actually did the things. And the other thing you can do is make a little note. The other thing you could do, I recommend, is make a note of what you accomplished, because as you're working towards these goals, depending on how much time you can commit, it's going to take a while, but putting your accomplishments is going to keep you motivated and moving forward. So like at the end of the month, when you're like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I'm still, right? You can look at what you've accomplished and say, oh, wait, I sent out, I had like 5 info meetings, and I had 2 appointments and 3 interviews. I didn't do so bad. Or if you're working on writing a book, oh, I read 30 pages this month. That's not bad for me working full time and juggling family, et cetera, et cetera. So whatever those accomplishments are, put them, they can either be in your calendar, or you can keep a win list. So every day you put down 1 to 3 wins, again, with the gratitude, what have you accomplished? What's going to make you feel good? And that way, when you're feeling like you're not getting anywhere, your list is there to look at, to elevate you, to keep you motivated and moving forward. The other thing is the 5 of 7 rule. Yes, something else I made up. A lot of people are like, don't break the chain, work towards your goals every day, always be working. Not realistic, especially for busy people. You can think about your projects every day, but if all you're doing is thinking, that's cheating. What I'm saying is look at your schedule and put in the time you can do, and maybe it's an hour once a week. An hour once a week will add up, or 15 minutes 4 times a week. That's fine. Commit to what you can do and do what you commit to. So, and the reason I say this is you don't want to, like, if you, let's say I can do 15 minutes a day. Well, if you miss Sunday, that's 30 minutes on Monday, and then 45 minutes on Tuesday. And if you didn't have 15 minutes on Sunday, you don't have an hour on Wednesday. So just commit to what you can do and do the things and keep yourself moving forward, because there's nothing less motivating than overwhelming yourself and getting stuck.
Deborah,
Don't do that. Yes.
I have an issue
Okay.
with committing, doing what I commit to. I will, if I have a meeting with somebody, I will be there, no problem. I'll have it in my calendar. You have a meeting with someone, or you're making breakfast with so-and-so, or you're going to dinner or whatever. I will be there, no question. But when I book something in my calendar with myself, 99% of the time I break it.
Ooh, okay, stop doing that. Can I like be in your head the next time you go to break a meeting and be like, no, Deb said not to. Or maybe it's just make fewer meetings with yourself. And how many of these meetings with yourself do you break a week?
Well, today was a very good, today I accomplished a lot.
Okay.
Because I needed to do choreography and I spent hours on it.
Okay.
But I would say, well, I don't make a lot of meetings with myself a week because I'm always running around. And the goals that the goals that I had today, I've accomplished, except I was gonna spend the rest of the evening finishing up choreography, and then I got Tisha's text about this. And so guess what? I dropped a meeting with myself and here I am.
But you dropped a meeting with yourself to do something else for yourself. And this is what I was talking about with tracking your time is better than scheduling. So what do you need, like another hour or two to do the choreography this week?
Well, I need it for tomorrow and I'm really tired right now. So when we get off, I'll probably spend another hour on it and then go to bed.
Okay. Can you find like an ongoing meeting with yourself? I was just going to get into rules and rewards. Figure out what makes sense for you. Maybe it's if I do my hour and I get it done on Tuesday, or my 3 hours on Tuesday, then I have the rest of the week to be clear. If I don't get it done, then I have to do like an hour Tuesday, an hour Wednesday, an hour Thursday, and put those commitments in the calendar. And like Tisha, you'll yell at her if she breaks meetings with herself, won't you?
Yes, totally. Well, I'm laughing because I haven't been doing this either. Everyone, I keep getting this message from everyone. Lori's on here. She's been telling me to do the same thing. Schedule, block your calendar, time for you, time to do things. And have I done it? No, but I will. I need to start. So Gail and you and I can be accountability partners. But the thing I was thinking, as I check things off during the day, I delete it off I have a crazy list and I do my things for each time, but I'm recognizing that maybe I should leave it and maybe like highlight it or color it so that I can acknowledge how much I got done at the end of each day. I think that's a cute idea.
The reason I like the electronic one is I can put done in all caps as I accomplish things, and then I can copy it and paste it for the next week and delete the dones, keep the ongoings, and add anything new. So yes, don't throw out your list. You don't want to know how many notebooks I have. It's not a good look. But wherever you're going to track it, find a good place to track what you're doing and keep going. And again, start with when can I have 1 to 2 hours to myself every week? And when it's the same time every week. Or another thing you can do is, when is a good slow time? Is 4 o'clock a good time, or is 9 o'clock a good time? What time of day is good for you to get a reminder to do your things? I usually get a Deb reminder around 4, do Deb stuff. And if I haven't spent a little time, and again, I don't do this every day because I like to do the things I tell other people to do because they work. But if I haven't taken time to work towards my ongoing projects, I will stop, or I will move my reminder to later when I know, okay, I can't do it now, but after dinner, I have a half an hour and I'm going to do that. So setting these appointments is committing to yourself and committing to your future, because that's super important. That's why we set goals, because we want something different, better, but you need to do the time. But even the littlest amounts of time add up. I think I have one more page of setting yourself up for success on the well-being side, and it starts with setting boundaries. When does your day start? When does your day end? Are you working all weekend? I know you're laughing and nodding, Tisha, because yes. Stop
It's
that.
not right. I know my kids are like, Mom, you work all the time. I'm like, I know. So, and that's one thing I preach the self-care to everyone else that I'm helping, but I'm like, do as I say, not as I do. And I'm recognizing it and I have to adjust that.
Well, and here's the cheat on that. Is there a half a day on one of the weekend days where you can just not work? Or, and this was a
Maybe.
huge, and this was a huge thing, especially at the beginning of the pandemic, is people were working. Like they get up and start working, and then maybe they're eating at their desk, and 7 o'clock at night, you're like, a friend of mine was saying she and her husband were both working from home. He would have to knock on her office door to tell her what time it was because she was always working too late. So set boundaries. When does your day start? When does your day end? When do you stop responding to email? And when do you stop looking at email? Now, I am bad about this, but not too bad. Most of the time, I will not send an email after 7:30 at night. I might read it till like 10, but I like to, it's like you teach people how to treat you. When I get an email from an editor saying, can you take this story? Unless it's something I really want, like, no, don't give, there's no way I'm responding till the morning. So, and I'll get emails. My phone goes on silent, like at 8 o'clock at night. If I feel like looking at it to see if someone tried to call or email or text, I will, but most of the time I will stop. And the weekends too, I've gotten really good about not overextending on the weekends. Now I say this, I do a Twitter chat Sunday night, so there is some worky time for me over the weekend, which is why I try, because I know I've got something work adjacent on Sundays. Saturdays, I do as little as possible. I'm as disconnected as possible. So find little pockets where you can have you time.
Deborah,
Yes.
I'm not religious, but I am of the Jewish faith, and Saturday is my Sabbath. And so in the mornings, I have a certain Zoom I go to, then I go to services, and then I watch Mike and Molly all day. And that is my refill my cup day.
I love it.
I have turned down at least 3 or 4 Zumba classes that were offered to me that they want me to work on Saturdays, and I won't do it.
Good for you. And that's good example, Tisha. That's all I'm gonna say.
I know, and I'm laughing, going, it's okay to say no. I see your next thing, and I'm like, oh my
Yes,
gosh, everyone tells me it's okay to say no, and I'm like, what's that word? And what are boundaries? I don't even know anymore. But yes, this is a good reminder.
This is the thing about saying no, is when you say no to something that is not in alignment, then you are saying yes to yourself. And this is the other reason I love the mission and motto so much, because it is the best decision tree ever. Is this in alignment with my mission? Yes, then yes. Is this in alignment with my mission? No. Okay, will it benefit me in another way? Yes. Okay, do it. No. Okay, no. So you can say, first of all, no is a complete sentence. I could probably do an hour on no. You do not owe anybody an explanation, but if it's more comfortable, say, I would love to help you out, but I'm overextended right now. Can we revisit in 6 months? Or because I'm sure you get, oh, Tisha, you're so good at this. Can you help? The other thing is, and this is really, when you say no, you also give someone else the gift of being able to say yes when it's more in alignment. So I tell this story. This was a few years ago. Somebody invited me to be on our panel, and I said yes because she was a friend, but I regretted it almost immediately. It was something about women in the workplace. It was something I could talk on. I worked in corporate for many years, but it wasn't, I had my doubts, but I was committed. I was going to do it. The morning of, it was canceled. And I took that as the universe saying, Deb, I've got you. When she rescheduled it, it was January. And I said, I would love to help you, but January is like my busiest month. So I'm going to have to pass on this. So it turned out I got another commitment for that day came up that I was able to take because I said no. So apparently she got someone else to fill the spot and had a successful event. I had a different successful event, and I was not kicking myself for saying yes to something I should have said no to in the first place. So go by your motto. When opportunities come your way, it will make it much easier. And this is what I did my TEDx talk on, was the magic of your motto. Just send me a list of all the links you want. I'll send them all to you. But it's really when you dig deep and you know what is good for you, it's good for everybody. Schedule me time. We already covered that. Be social. Definitely want that balance, and have fun, because when you love what you do, it shows. When you don't love what you do, it really, really, really shows. So do the things that fill your cup, that enlighten you, that bring you joy. You'll have more energy to do the things that maybe you don't love as much, but it will keep you moving forward. Okay, next steps. You can go to the debmethod.com VSH for my virtual vision board scavenger hunt. And I have a mission and motto worksheet. So if you want to email me, info@thedebmethod.com, I'm happy to send that to you. And if you want to join my newsletter, let me know. Write your mission, write your motto, connect with me, connect with each other. And again, if you want to learn more about me, my book, Your Goal Guide, a roadmap for setting, planning, and achieving your goals, is available at your favorite place to buy books. The first half of the book will take you through the DEB method in even more detail, and then the second half is more about setting yourself up for success. Thank you so much for having me. I will put all these links in the chat. You are all awesome, and if you're watching the replay, reach out. If you're watching now or the replay, reach out on LinkedIn, drop me a note, say this is where we met, and connect with me, because we're all in this together. We're all in here to elevate each other. So do what you can, keep moving forward, and find and live your Goaltopia.
I love it. Thank you so much for doing this evening. All right, I'm going to